Hey everybody, welcome back. So a couple of weeks ago I released a video that caused a little bit of controversy, and I'll put a link above to it now. It was about which of 5 slicers would give me the best raised text with a color change. And the color change doesn't really have that much to do with the quality. It has more to do with it really makes the quality issues more obvious since you've got a text of one color against a background of a completely different color. And I responded to the controversy of that video with another video, which mainly was about adjusting my printer and just showing that it actually does work correct. And I'll put a link to that above now. So now that that's all the way done, and I determined which slicer I wanted to continue in, which was going to be PrusaSlicer, I went ahead and did some tweaking and got a bunch more prints. Now, all the ones that are in, these two are from the first video, and they're just there kind of as comparison. These others were done just very recently, and they're flipped upside down, so I'll know which one is which. So when I show them to you, I don't have to figure out which one is which and get them in the right order. So first off, let's take a look. And these two down here, these were printed in different printers out of different filaments, and I did it just for grins and giggles, and we'll talk about that at the end. So this was the one from Cura 5 that was my settings. And I didn't really think Cura 5, this is Cura 5 beta, by the way. I didn't really think either Cura 4.13 or Cura 5 was the best at this. But I did adopt Chep's ultra fast profile, and I thought, now that my printer is all adjusted and it's almost perfect, by the way, let's go ahead and print another one in Cura 5 with Chep's ultra fast profile. And I'm doing it because, to be honest with you, Chep's ultra fast profile, not only does it print faster than my fastest profile, it also prints better than my fastest profile. So, and also, I don't have one of Cura 5 when I went to the slightly smaller text. So this one has a 10 millimeter text, then this one has a 9 millimeter text. And as you can see, it's a little bit better. The surface, the white surface in between the lettering is still rough. That is actually even rougher than mine. I think that's slightly to do with the you know what, I don't know what that is. It is slightly rougher, I think, but they both did a slightly rough upper surface compared to PrusaSlicer. But it is a little bit better. How much of that is just the smaller text? I don't know. Or the printer adjustment? I don't know. But it is a little bit better. Probably a combination of both of them. So, but it still does not do a nice a job as PrusaSlicer does, at least at this. So before you attack me, I like Cura. I've used it for a long time. It was the first slicer I used. I'm going to continue using it. There are some things it does very well. I like the way it works and responds, but it just isn't as good as PrusaSlicer at this particular thing, at least right now. Can I adjust it to make it as good? Possibly, but that's another video, okay? So don't be jumping on me. If you have hints for me for Cura 5, go ahead and give them to me. I'm happy to try them out. So this is, let's get these out of the way. So this is the one from PrusaSlicer from last time. And yeah, I know, I've reverse swapped the colors again. And that just helps me keep them straight. I'm hoping that it won't really matter in us, determining which is which. So this one here, this one, PrusaSlicer, me meaning it's my own set of settings, and 2 means it's just round 2 of this. So these are the 2 PrusaSlicer ones. These are the exact same settings. This one is before the machine adjustment. This one's after the machine adjustment. So honestly, is this one better? Yes, it is. Is it hugely better? I can tell. I mean, I can look at it and I can tell this is better. But hugely better? Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Also, this, no it doesn't. I was going to say this had some tweaks in it that this one doesn't, but this is all the tweaks. So these are the exact same same slicer settings. Just a difference in time, and I swapped the color so I'd be able to tell them apart. I'll be honest with you, I'm perfectly happy with this. I could quit this whole thing right now and be perfectly happy with that. But you know what, let's go a little further. So the next thing I did was I went to PrusaSlicer's variable line height ability, and I switched the line height right where the text begins. I switched it from 0.3 to 0.2. And I don't know if you can see from looking at the sides of it, but it did make the sides of the text look better. I have no idea if this camera is going to focus on that. My guess is probably not. Maybe I can somehow get my hand behind it and get it to focus. You can definitely see the sides of the text is smoother and nicer. Is the very top of the text nicer? I don't think so. Why would it be? I mean, layer height doesn't change the way the top of it's going to look, and I don't think it looks any different. Let me see if I can get two of the same things together like those fives. I don't really think it's any better. Why would it be? Like I said, it's line height, not line width. So there's that. So the next thing I did was I changed it to, and PrusaSlicer is kind of odd. I wanted to go to a 0.2 line width or line extrusion width, but it wouldn't let me do the variable line height. PrusaSlicer seems to not let you do things that it believes will cause a bad print, whereas Cura will. And it does not like you having a line, an extrusion width that's a great deal larger than layer height. Am I saying that right, or am I got it backwards? I can't remember. Anyway, but in order to get this to print, I had to make the entire part a 0.2 layer height and then a 0.2 line width. So here's this one. Let's get the other one. This is the original one. Here it is with no other setting changes. Is it better? Yes, it is. The text, I think the top of the text with the finer line width, and I know I'm tending to want to screw that up, I think it makes for a better text. Unfortunately, I would have to print the entire thing at the lower layer height, and that of course is going to extend the print time of this out a lot. And it may be worth it, and it may not. I'm not sure it really would be worth it when all I would really have to do is take a sanding block and go over top of this. I don't know. Is it better? It is better. I can notice it. It's better. Am I really going to get my face down 3 inches from a shift knob to look at it? Yeah, you know what? I don't think so. So for this particular part, it might not make any difference. Okay, I want to get the original one back out. There it is. Now the next thing I thought was, let's turn ironing on. Let's see what ironing does. So this is my original settings, just like this one. Yeah, these are the exact same settings, except I turned ironing on in this, and I think it's set to like a 0.15% extrusion. I didn't mess around with the profiles, ironing settings that are what it is. What it is. So, and I know I didn't say that right either, but that's life. So, did ironing make it better? No, I don't think so. In fact, I think ironing made it worse. I think ironing smudged the top of the letters. It made the top smoother, without a doubt, but I also think that it smudged it. And again, going over it with a sanding block would fix that, but I don't need to turn ironing on in order to go over it with a sanding block. So ironing and the original one, I don't think it did much good. So the next thing I did is I took this one with a 0.2 layer height and a 0.25 line width, and I turned ironing on for that. Now let's take a look. And is it better? I don't think so. Is it worse? Yeah. I think it's a little worse. Once again, it smudged the letters. Did it do it a lot? Well, it certainly, like here, if you look at the fives, it certainly messed the 5 up. Others, it smoothed the top without messing it up. Like, you know what? The two looks is good, or maybe a little nicer. The 1 is kind of smudged. Whoops. The The 1 is kind of smudged. The 3 is smudged. I don't know. I think the one without the ironing, this one's ironing, this one's not. I think the one without the ironing looks better. So there you have it. Those are the settings that I made in this particular round. Am I going to do any more? I don't know. I might. Oh yeah, this. I decided to go over to my enclosed Ender 3, the one with the all metal hot end, and try this in polycarbonate. And this is a fully enclosed Ender 3 with all of the electronics and the power supply outside of it. And I did this in Polymaker's Polylite polycarbonate. That's a lot of polys, isn't it? It's an all-metal hot end. This is that cheapo $7 all-metal hot end I did in the past couple of videos. I'll put a link to those up there too. And it's kind of hard to tell, really. Since it's transparent, it really is difficult to see, but it actually printed it halfway decently. Of course, a person would have to go over top of it with a paint stick, but it might make for a pretty decent looking item once it was fully printed. I've got a lot of stringing because, of course, the retraction settings for the all-metal hot end have to be turned way down. But yeah, I don't know. It might be something worth playing with some more in polycarbonate. And this one I printed on my Key-Tech Shadow 5.5 printer, resin printer, and as you can see, the resin printer prints this stupidly well. It's line width and it really has no line width. Its line height is so incredibly fine. I mean, even for an older printer like mine, I can't even see layer lines in it. If you're wondering what the little bit of bubbling around the letters are concerned, it's because I didn't completely dry it off after washing before I cured it. Had I done that, that wouldn't be there. But if I print these, I may print the whole thing in the resin printer. I don't know, something I have to think about. Since these aren't going to be very tall, the resin printer would print them fairly quickly. For those of you who aren't familiar with resin printing, it prints an entire layer at once. There is no XY movement. There's only Z movement. So something that's big and wide and not very tall prints stupid fast. Something that's thin and tall prints stupid slow. So there you have it. So there it is. What do you guys think? I'm pretty happy with it the way it is. Whether or not I don't really think I'm going to do any more of this raised lettering, because I'm pretty bloody happy with what I got here with these. Certainly good enough for my use. I mean, nobody's ever going to have their face closer than a couple of feet away from gear shift knobs, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I just wanted to see, you know, how good I could get it without too much effort. And if you guys can think of other setting changes, I tried slowing the speed down and it didn't really make a bunch of difference. Fan is on all the time with them. Honestly, I don't really think I'm going to get it better at this point in time. I think I'm going to be dealing with a case of diminishing returns. Any changes I make are only going to give me very tiny incremental improvements and add a boatload of time into the print job, which I'm probably not willing to do. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. Please comment below if you have any suggestions for me. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.